cooking up a storm, and Easter is coming up, and when you have Easter, what's the one thing you think of? Eggs. Well, maybe chocolate bunnies, and then maybe eggs, but anyhow, eggs make it in there, right? And deviled eggs. So I don't know about you, but when a holiday comes around, I get a little Clark Griswold. I like to go over the top when it comes to presentation. For instance, at Thanksgiving, I had this charcuterie board, and it took me a year to say that, by the way, but I can say it now. And it had a cornucopia we made, and it had all this, the fruit and the cheeses and the salamis and everything coming out of it. It was a big spread. And I love to make these things that when your guests come in for a holiday, they look at it and they're like, wow, they're impressed by it. How'd you make that? You know, I don't know why, I just like it. So for Easter, I thought I'd give something a try. And well, to be honest with you, they didn't come out as well as they'd like. But I want to show you how I made these. These are deviled eggs, and they were devilish to make. Maybe that's where they got their name. But anyhow, I made them into tulips. So what I used for the stems, of course, are green onions. That was the easy part. And then the hard part, making the eggs. We'll get to show you how I make that here in a little bit. But first, before we begin anything, is boiling eggs. And with Easter coming up, or just any time of year, I want to show you how to boil eggs. I know that may sound ridiculously simple, but this is a way to boil eggs that if you follow these directions, every time you do it, you'll be able to peel the eggs like that. It's going to peel real easily. You're not going to have to be sitting there, you know, little pieces of shell and everything like that. It'll come out. I'll show you how fast it's going to come out. I'm confident this is going to work. So we're going to get over here. We got our pot of boiling water. And since, you know, I'm a meteorologist and we're cooking up a storm, let's talk about convection, because what we have going on here is convection. And in meteorology, you hear us talk about convection a lot in the summertime, and convection leads to thunderstorms. When the sun, the warm sun, heats the surface of the ground, and of course, in the summertime, it can heat up pretty fast. Conduction occurs because we're transferring the energy of the sun over, and it's going to start to rise from the surface. And it'll rise and keep on going up in the atmosphere. And we call that convection. And this is what's happening in this pot right now. See those bubbles of water? They're coming from the bottom of our pot and going up to the top because we're heating underneath. Just like the sun heats the ground, the flame here is heating the bottom of this pot. So this water is going straight up. Now, sometimes you get thunderstorms in the summertime, and sometimes you don't. And the reason why is you get a layer of warmer air aloft. And when that warm air aloft, you get a cap. Meteorologists refer to this as a cap, and that's like putting the lid on the convection. So these clouds will start to grow, but they can't grow tall enough to become a thunderstorm. But if a parcel of air can break through the cap, or if you get a cold front coming through that lifts the cap off, notice the steam going up. That steam, that convection starts going, and then these cumulonimbus clouds start billowing up, and then you're going to have some fireworks, some thunder boomers in the sky. So a little lesson there with meteorology, as we're also going to boil some eggs. So we have our eggs. I have 11 eggs. I'm not sure what happened to the other one, but you want to have enough water in this pot to cover the egg. That's important. And the other thing is some people will boil eggs and they will start with the cold water. But I like to use hot water, or hot boiling water. Make sure it's boiling. So we're going to gently put these guys in here. Look, I already have one breaking. Isn't it? No matter what, you always have one. I think it must have been a hole in that one. Already it broke. But you're always going to get one of those in each batch. But you want to gently put that in, and then you want it to cook for 9, because we're News 9, 9 News 9 minutes. You want this to boil. And I'm going to put the rest of my eggs in here. News 9 minutes have passed, so we're going to turn off our heat, bring over our eggs. Again, some of these opened up, but you're always going to get that, right, when you're boiling eggs. So these have been boiling away for 9 minutes. And the important part is to have this ice bath. See, it's all filled ice. These eggs are hot, but they're going to chill. So what we're going to do, I'm going to grab this guy, is plop these in the ice bath. And what this will help do is remove the membrane from the shell of the egg. So what you'll be able to do is peel it easier than then it's sticking. Like, so a lot of times, you know, you get boiled eggs and they're just a pain to crack open. But these will, you know, you follow these steps, and these have to chill in the ice bath. They go from the jacuzzi to the ice bath, and they got to chill in there for 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, our eggs have been chilling in the ice bath for about 3 to 5 minutes. Then you want to grab, let's see, that one's already cracked. We want to grab an egg. I just want to show you how I can move this out of the way maybe so you get a better idea here, how easy this should be. So you just crack it like that, and I want to show you how quick this is going to peel. See how it's not coming out in little pieces? See how this is peeling? I mean, that's pretty fast, right? Look at that. That's done. So that just shows you the ice bath really works. Make sure you have that ice bath and you can get a perfect egg. Now, to make the tulips, this is the tricky part. Let's see, this egg might work. What you want to do is you want to get that yellow hard-boiled yolk out. And what you want to do is take a knife, and at the top of your egg, your hard-boiled egg, you want to make a cross. So one way and the other way. And you want to open it up. And what you're going to try to do now, and this is the incredibly tricky part, is you're going to try to get this yolk out without breaking it. And trust me, if you really want to do this, from what I found out, you're gonna break it because it's very different. Already I could see it. So what I'm doing is pushing from the bottom. See, I'm trying to get it. And what you could do is maybe just use your knife to help scoop it out like that. But it's very delicate. You're going to break a lot of them. I mean, the good thing is they are going to taste good. I mean, they may not look pretty, but they are going to taste good, and it'll give your company something to talk about. They're like, oh, I see what you're trying to do there, but yeah, you failed. And again, you're sort of see what I'm doing. So I ran into that. Now, if you were going to make a regular egg, of course, deviled egg, you would just cut it like that, right in half. And then you're going to take your yolk, and then you're going to use that to dump in here, and we're going to mix it up. So we scooped out all the egg yolks, and they're in this food processor. Now, this recipe for deviled eggs is a little different than a traditional one. This comes from my wife's Aunt Linda. Thank you, Aunt Linda, for giving this one. And I texted her the other night. I was like, can you give me your recipe? Because everyone loves her deviled eggs. And she said, I don't know. It's a little difficult, Jeff. And I was like, oh, what am I getting myself into? And then she said, there's 2 ingredients, coleslaw mix and sugar. That's it. Oh, of course, your egg yolks, but I mean, that's a given. So we just want to pulse this. This is my dance I make when I pulse the eggs in the food processor. I'm not really going to the beat, though. Okay, well, I don't know. That doesn't look like it's too ground up. We could always smash it up in the bowl itself. So there we go. We ground them. Then we're going to put these into a bowl, dump these into a bowl. Ah! We don't want that in there. Okay, this guy's done. And so then we want to take a little bit of sugar, just a little bit of sugar, maybe a spoonful of sugar, but I didn't take a spoon. I'm using my fingers, so just estimate a spoon. And now we want to add our slaw mix. So we want to dump the whole thing in. If you're making 12 eggs, it's probably like a half of this little jar. And this is Marzetti slaw mix. Marzetti slaw mix. I'm sure you can find some other. It doesn't have to be the brand, but I just want to make it a consistency where I can pipe this and put it in an egg. And everyone loves these eggs. If you like deviled eggs, it's just a different recipe. You could always try to add different things in deviled eggs too. You can even add some chives, bacon. Of course, a lot of people like to finish off with a little bit of paprika. So, you don't want this too runny, but you also want it to be a little firm. And you could even add, I've seen this, you want to make it more of like a buttercream, you add like a little bit of butter to this mix. So I'm gonna add a little bit more there. I think I need a little bit more. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pipe. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna scoop this gently in there. Like Galway knows when stuff's gonna hit the floor. My dog, she comes in like a shark. And we're gonna put this in here to pipe. To be honest with you, I'm not much of a piper. Deviled eggs, by the way, go all the way back to the Roman times, and they you would boil these eggs and add sauces to it and make deviled eggs. So they have tradition all the way back to the Roman times. So there it is. And, you know, this is very delicate if you want to make the tulips. Again, it's a little more difficult, but if you have patience and you have time and you want to impress your family, you just want to open that up, and then pipe away. As I got some stuff coming off the side, but you know, you could clean all that up. So there you go. That would be like your tulip in your deviled egg. You could add a little bit of paprika. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way, voila. That's, to be honest with you, it's a lot easier doing it this way. So there you go. I have a new respect for, I always wondered why they're called deviled eggs. Now I know. Because if you try to make deviled eggs into tulips, it's the devil. We're cooking up a storm for Easter. And by the way, this would make a great Mother's Day presentation as well. I'm Jeff Exline.
Hi, I'm Dylan Cleland. Thanks for watching. And here's another video to check out, and be sure to subscribe to our channel.